Here we have the hourly price chart for NVIDIA Corporation, stock ticker NVDA. As we can see, to start the week, we are seeing some upward price movement in NVDA share prices. NVIDIA is moving higher with large portions of the market. Overall, I would say this is turning out to be a positive start to the trading session. As we come back from this holiday thinned week, we do have to keep that in mind. Last week was kind of abnormally influenced by the July 4th holiday. Markets were closed on Thursday. And, when that type of, when you see a major holiday like that, you'll see many orders pulled out of the market, and you won't see a lot of those orders come back into the market until the following Monday. So overall, what that creates is sort of a holiday thinned trading condition characterized by low liquidity levels. And you can kind of see that here in this price chart. If we look at the trading volumes recently, they've been a bit low. Compared to what we've generally seen for the stock during earlier parts of this year. So, not totally surprising here to see that we were caught in a bit of a sideways trading range. With the share price itself kind of oscillating around its moving average cluster. Not totally abnormal to see something like that when you've got a holiday, major holiday trading period. And also not strange to see this sort of breakout move higher when markets start to return to full strength. So, as you can see on this chart, a lot of the prior trend lines and indicator readings and everything have been left in place. I do want to make it clear that the overall expectation here is coming to fruition. The projections and the predictions here are coming true. We were expecting for this sideways trading range to break to the top side. As you can see here, I was kind of outlining this series of higher lows inside of that trading range. Just kind of point to this here for a moment. So, the expectation here was that, we were seeing a bit of an ascending triangle pattern within this sideways trading range. So overall, that is a bullish pattern. And we are seeing some other signals here, which do suggest that, an upside break was imminent. There were some prior commenters that were trying to point to this structure up here as a potential bear flag pattern. I'd recommend against trying to look for patterns like this, especially a bear flag pattern is just a little bit difficult to visualize. It's very difficult to just kind of even see it. I mean, a bull flag pattern is a lot easier to see just because it's sort of, positioned inversely, and it's just easier to see that. But there were many reasons to show that this was not a bear flag pattern. The flag itself was much longer than the flag pole. It was just, these arguments were pretty ridiculous. And there are a lot of people that are calling for, a major top to this stock. I'm not really understanding why they think this to be the case, given the fundamental picture for the company. We've really only got two analyst downgrades this year. There was a recent downgrade that was made by a very small trading firm. And the downgrade was really just to a hold from a buy. I mean, it's not as if they're selling the stock or anything like that. I mean, there really isn't much here pointing in negative territory. Although we do try to look for things which kind of dispel the bullish argument. I mean, that's really what you should be doing as a trader. You shouldn't be looking for things that confirm your bias. You should be looking for things that are the opposite. Quite frankly, you should be looking for pieces of evidence which kind of fall in the face of your thesis here. And what I was trying to point out here is if you were really looking for a bearish pattern here, a much more obvious pattern here would have been a head and shoulders pattern. I mean, here you've got the left shoulder, you've got the head here, you've got the right shoulder here, and then you've got a very clearly defined neckline. I mean, that's a fairly obvious pattern here. So I was trying to, kind of help people that want to be bearish to the stock. I don't know why you would want to take that position, but, if you were looking for a downside, a price pattern here, a head and shoulders pattern is very obvious, and we're trading near all-time highs. In addition to that, you've got some negative momentum suggestions in the indicator reading. There are signals here that you could point to, but calling this a bear flag pattern is just completely out of school and out of context, and it doesn't really appreciate the general trading rules that characterize those types of patterns. So as things currently stand, we have to understand that the sideways trading range was very predictable given the holiday thin trading conditions that we were seeing. Within that trading range, we were seeing an ascending triangle formation develop here, characterized by these higher lows, and then a fairly consistent range high here. But even for large portions of last week, we were really pressuring this upside here without really putting much pressure on the downside. So any chance that this potential neckline here was going to be broken, it seemed far fetched and improbable. Just not likely to happen overall. I mean, the more likely scenario here was an upside break of this trading range. So now that this has clearly happened, I mean, we've seen this range break to the top side, and then in addition to that, we've seen share prices close here above this trading range on an hourly basis. We can kind of try to emphasize that here. In particular, we can point to this green candle and even this red candle closed outside of it, even though it's a red candle. If you look closely here, the full portion of the body is still above the resistance level. So that means that it closed outside of the trading range, on an hourly basis. And the hourly basis is a very important time frame. I would say the hourlies and the dailies are the most important time frames. They're the most closely watched by the market. So, these are the time frames to be watching. We are seeing a clear break of this trading range. Anybody that was saying that, we're not seeing resistance levels break or anything like that, I don't know what planet these people are living on. It's right here. Um, and a bear flag pattern doesn't have a flag pole that's shorter and less significant than the flag itself. So it does not look like any potential head and shoulders pattern is likely to play out here. And currently, what I'm looking for is going to be a retracement of this entire trend wave here to the downside. We did see some selling pressure here, and I think this is what was causing people with long positions to be concerned, because we did see a fairly strong move lower here. There are some price gaps within that trend movement, and that does suggest that there could be a period of volatility for the stock as we're trading near all-time highs. That can be a bit off-putting. It can be a bit of a concern here. But currently, this break of resistance, range resistance, and then the fact that we are now clearly trading well above the exponential moving average cluster does suggest that we are likely to test the all-time highs above 140 once again. The most negative point that I could point to here, the most negative piece of evidence would be this downtrend reading in the relative strength index on the hourly chart. Um, but overall, we do have somewhat of a symmetrical triangle pattern forming here, because we're also seeing indications of positive trend momentum at the same time. So, we're going to need to see a break of the apex of this triangle, this symmetrical triangle, in order to get a very clear picture of where trend momentum is likely to start heading next. But we are already seeing early indications in share prices themselves that continued moves to the top side are still to be expected. So here's the current market analysis for NVIDIA Corporation, stock ticker NVDA.